everybody, welcome to a review for Warhammer 40,000 Sanctus Reach. I don't normally review computer games on this channel, but this game is a lot like a tabletop miniatures game and even a board game with some of the turn structure. It's a turn-based campaign slash multiplayer skirmish game. It's even got a little bit of an editor where you can create your own campaigns and such in here. So I've been playing quite a bit. I've got well over 50 hours played with it, and I figured I'd go ahead and give it a review. So first I'll just quickly show the options. There's not a ton of options. You got your resolution, a little anti-aliasing. They have made some adjustments here to how the camera works with the last few patches, which were pretty needed, and the developers overall have been relatively responsive to some of the tweaks and things that people have asked for. It looks like there's going to be more to come as well. Now we'll go ahead and step into one of my loaded games here. There's actually two campaigns after a very brief tutorial campaign, and you can see I've been working my way through these different areas, and these are different types of missions. Sometimes you'll be wanting to invade the orcs' territory, take control points and get victory points from them. Sometimes you're wanting to hold them. So there's some missions are larger scale, some missions are smaller scale. So I'll go ahead and just select this one here. And here you can see it gives us kind of a general overview of what this particular mission is going to be. And so we'll jump down here. You can see on the left we've got the number of force points. So as I kind of scroll around and look at the sort of basic deployment of troops, you can click on these. You can see it starts to reduce the amount of points that you have available to you. And you've got various different types of units. You got these dreadnoughts, some transports, different types of troops. Now, as I hover over these, you can see I've hovered over this particular blood claw pack here. And zooming in at the unit here, you can see a little bit closer of makeup. You've got the stats down here. You've also got level 2, and this one has particularly earned a special effect. As they level up, you'll get different effects, things like that. So this leader here, you can see they've got a variety of effects and abilities that they can do. And now we've moved into deploy mode. Now, not all of the maps have a deploy mode. Sometimes it's hard to tell how the scenario is actually going to play out until you're jumped in, but that's sort of part of the fog of war idea. Now we can see the different control points here, and this is where the orcs are. We can't normally see them to start. Up in the upper left you'll see remaining turns, and then the game win will be most victory points. So each of us controls 3. You can see here is a Space Wolf control point, and we can take and drag around our different units here and drag around the dreadnoughts and move them around. And we can also click the guy and then put a little spot there, and they'll jump up there. So we'll go ahead and deploy the different units and get them in a position, but not every level has this. So now that we've deployed, the orc has taken their turn. You can see they've moved in one of their Storm Boy units here. These guys are like on jetpacks. And so let's take a look, and we'll just click on one of our Terminator units. You can see this is the range that it can move to. So we can go up here, you can click up there, and it's going to move up. And now you can sort of zoom around as well, give a good look at everything. We've got an angle here on this battle wagon transport. You can see it's got the hit points. Importantly, also there's the morale. As units take certain types of damage and bigger damage, then their morale might get shaken, and they get broken and become effectively worthless. So it's good to also use that. So we can go ahead and click on that, and we'll click and get some shots up on him. You can see these guys aren't particularly good against a big heavy unit like that. These guys do have a power fist as well. We'll take a quick look at them like that. So the nice thing is you can get really close to the action here. And we look down here, you can see Storm Bolter, Power Fist. Click that, give you the range, accuracy, the type of damage that you can do there. So that's also pretty helpful to see what's possible. I've also got these transports here, and these can move a little bit further. And the other nice thing is you can take a unit of infantry and then load them up into there. And if we hover over that, you can see the transport capacity, 3 of 12. So let's go ahead and move him up here, and he can get them a lot further than they can normally get by walking. And we've now captured a victory point there, and he's got a little bit of a gun on him. We'll go ahead and shoot that. And the range that you're at, and also you can flank and get into the rear of the enemy, is going to be very influential on the amount of damage that you We can take a look at one of our more fun units. This is a dreadnought. We'll get a good close look at it. I like the illustrations here. They look like painted miniatures. And the levels themselves actually look like a lot of the terrain that's available for 40K. Here you can see some of the different supply depot type of things, the canisters. There's also, I don't remember all the names of the 40K stuff, but there's like the Imperious Sanctum, you know, different buildings. It looks a lot like the typical 40K terrain. So this guy should wreck these stone boys. He's pretty powerful. So that's his one action there. And you can see, I didn't mention before, down here in the lower side, each unit has 2 actions. They also get a reaction, possibly. These guys are probably too far. Oh, they're within range. They're going to keep that deep there. Yeah, so this guy's pretty powerful. I've leveled him up, you know, quite a bit over the course of the campaign. Now, the other thing, you can see this sort of targeting icon here as I move to the adjacent spot. So if I do this, he's going to set his reaction arc that way. You can see all of those little crosshairs appear. So anything kind of does an action or moves into that range, he's going to be able to spend his reaction. The other thing you'll notice here, this fella here, he's got a little bit of movement, but if he shoots, he's going to actually reduce the amount of available movement. So we're going to move him up here. And now he's in range. He'll hopefully finish off that war bug. Alright. And there's a variety of different units. The way that the units are set up is a little bit randomized from your available force. You can also get access to Imperial Knights, the big, you know, giant mechs that are much bigger than these. I didn't have access in this particular one to a particular hero unit called from Dragongrave. He's a wrecker. He's a beast. I've leveled him up all the way, and he can take out, you know, several of these orc units by himself. But he wasn't in my pool to pull from, so it's random every time to kind of keep you on your toes. Another fun unit is this land speeder. You can see it can move very far. It can actually fly up above terrain, so we'll move him up here. And we'll get a good survey of the land. And he'll take a quick shot over here to these guys. And that's one thing to note here is, like, if I was right on top of them, I wouldn't be able to do this much damage. You want some kind of distance. And it's a little bit of a rock, paper, scissors type of thing. You know, some of these guys will have different abilities. Like this one says, hits all men on the target tile with reduced power. And then he's also got the ability of heavy armor plating plus 20 heavy armor. Sometimes you'll get weapon upgrades that allow you to do more damage to armor. Now we've kind of moved our troops up into position, taking their actions. You can see by the little crossed out bullet that means that unit is out of action. And so we can go ahead and end our turn, and then once we do our turn, the enemy will take their turn. This is probably one of my criticisms, but I don't know how you fix it. On the larger battles, you can basically go get a cup of coffee while they do this. Your units will react. If they move into range, you'll do some sniper fire and, you know, opportunity fire against them. But in a large-scale battle, which this is not, this is probably a very small-scale battle, you can see them reacting. It does take a while for the AI to kind of figure out what it's going to do in terms of you know, moving units off the screen and setting their reaction arcs. The camera will just kind of bounce back and forth like you're seeing here. So it does take a little bit of time for that to happen. And here we can see the transport, and they're able to deploy to adjacent tiles. So we're going to move this guy out of here, and we can move him up here a little bit and try to get him closer. Now you can see it indicates the cover, similar to like a game like XCOM, where I'm trying to target this unit, and you can see kind of the half shield with that pipe there. So it's going to get a little bit of cover for that particular unit. This guy's got a power fist, which is his main way of dealing damage. And so we can also grab these guys here, and these guys also have a flame weapon. So we're just going to probably foolishly move them up here. And you can actually target a area. So you can see we're going to zap those handful of units there. And we're going to do some damage like that. Now the orcs, their flame weapons are a little bit more effective than ours, but some of our melee is more effective, and the Terminator unit is more effective, but they have their axes and things that are pretty effective. So now we can kind of pick which way we want to watch, and we'll set it out this way. Now one thing I want to show you that the orcs do a lot of, but even you can do, is let's say I wanted to shoot this unit here. I've got my dreadnought selected. Now you can see here that this terrain and my transporter blocking it. But I can go ahead and try to shoot that, but I'm taking the risk of hitting my transporter. Let's see if I did. Yeah, I did a lot of damage to him there. Now the orcs, given their nature, will do this quite a bit. So you can kind of use that to your advantage. If you can, sometimes they get them funneled in and they'll do a lot of damage to their own. But again, I'm basically destroying my own transport at that point. But sometimes you'll shoot a group of units, and maybe I'll target this one, but a stray shot will go over here and hit this one as well. And the terrain itself is actually destructible as well. We can see this transport here could actually even target this rock formation, or you could target all kinds of other different pieces, and sometimes you have to like knock a wall through a fortification or something, so I can go ahead and shoot that if I really wanted to. It gives you the health for it there, even though it's kind of silly right now. Now this squadron of swift bikes here, these are very interesting units. They're kind of weak. If you have a decent range and a good shot, maybe I can drive behind these guys and flank them from behind. I can try to sort of spike up here and grab a victory point, sort of almost like a stealth operation. I think you can see right now I've got 4 victory points to 3, and so I'm doing in good shape. So I can try to hold my position, or maybe I'll just go down here. Now you can see if I drive through this red area here, this is kind of their suspected reaction arc. So if I'll try to just get back here, and I bet something will trigger driving through that. So yeah, it'll stop it there. These guys had a reaction fire there. But they've spent theirs, so now you can see that this has reduced the amount of red area. So I'll just drive up here on the hill, and maybe drive behind this flamer group here, and then shoot them. There's a couple of crits and some decent damage because we're behind them. That was a good little move there to take them out. But these guys are a little bit weak. And you can see this unit here, they're broken, so they're not really going to be very effective. I don't really have to worry about them for the most part. They might get an attack in here or there, but if it's a broken or lower morale, you can effectively kind of ignore them for a little bit. Now some of the units will get different abilities like this grenade here, and you can see you've got a certain amount of range on it. If I go out too far, it won't show up. But let's say I'll go ahead and click that, and I'll give you kind of a splash range of that grenade. So if I do it here, that's not as effective, so I'm just going to go here, and I'll toss it out. Now those kind of special abilities don't eat up any of your action points there. I've gone ahead and loaded up a previous save from one of the larger matches there. You can see you can get quite a sprawling set of units, and this particular one, the orcs get tons and tons of reinforcements. They're basically trying to hold these center victory point locations. There's these killer cans out here. I got several units. I've also been getting reinforcements here from the edges of the battlefield. You can get some of the different terrain. I think this is called the Bastion or something like that. And here's your Imperial Sanctus place, whatever it's called. And so this terrain is actually destructible too. So there's a decent variety in the mission. I will say I've only played through most of the first campaign. You can see I'm on the second to last mission there. I believe the second campaign is a little bit more difficult. This one, I had a couple difficulties kind of midway through, lost a couple, there were a couple of close calls. But again, as my units have leveled up, I've been tabling it, or basically wiping out all the units, not even having to wait for the victory point. Here's Prom. You can see he can actually raise morale. His special ability there has got a cooldown, so 3 more turns, and then he can beef up the morale of any units that might be broken or low morale. And he's just got a ton of special abilities, so he can just walk in and just lay waste to different units. Let's see how well he can do this. He's got a Worm Claw Prostrate to give him several melee attacks here. He might even be able to take out just about the whole unit. Yeah, see? And he can use his second Worm Claw there just to take that out by himself. He's even got like a little shield, so you can see that. That guy was doing the reactive fire there. Overall, it's a fun game. It's $30 on Steam. I think it's worth that. Like I said, I've got several hours of playing here. They've been responsive. They've been patching it. There were some issues kind of with the camera, but now you get a real like bird's eye view of the miniatures, or whatever they're called, and you can zoom out and get a nice, overhead view as well. So I expect this to be well supported, and it's really the closest kind of game that I've seen to simulating the tabletop. Dawn of War is more like playing StarCraft with 40K theme, but yeah, this is really close to a turn-based tabletop type of atmosphere. And certainly if it goes on sale on Steam, I would definitely pick it up. It's going to be worth the money that way. Gives you a variety of units and a variety of different ways to play. I think the only criticisms would be there's some kind of wonkiness with the UI and the way you kind of interact with everything. But you do kind of get used to it. The camera is kind of jumpy a little bit. But strategically, it's pretty fine, maybe a little bit on the easy side. But I've got yet to go into the hard campaign, so maybe it does pick up a little bit there. But anyway, I just want to give kind of a quick rundown. I know most people watch this channel for board games and things, but this is a very board game-like video game. So, thanks.